Hello everyone, and welcome to my Soap Twist 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In the glamorous but cutthroat world of Los Angeles fashion, where family connections are as fragile as the finest silk and rivalries simmer under every runway show, the Logan sisters have always been a force to be reckoned with. Brooke Logan, the immortal beauty with a history of tangled romances and unbreakable tenacity, has long been the focal point of Forrester Creations, the Forrester family's business imbued with the Logan spirit via marriages and influence. Katie Logan, her younger sister, has often lived in that shadow, brilliant and determined, but constantly sidelined by health crises, painful betrayals, and the never-ending drama that defines their family. However, during the holiday season of 2025, everything is about to change in ways no one could have foreseen, prompting a conflict that will reverberate through boardrooms and bedrooms alike. The story begins with a rekindled romance. Bill Spencer, the powerful media billionaire known for extravagant gestures and tangled loyalties, has swept Katie off her feet once more. After years of on-and-off-again upheaval, including Bill's famed entanglements with Brooke herself, he proposes to Katie in an act of pure spontaneity. The wedding is tiny, rushed, and completely romantic, a ceremony at the Spencer house attended by close family members, including their son Will and the ever-supportive Donna Logan. But Bill, never one to take things halfway, prepares his biggest surprise for after the wedding. As a wedding gift, he gives Katie the funds and resources she needs to start her own design house. Not simply a division of an existing corporation, but a full-fledged competitor to Forrester Creations, complete with creative control and the opportunity to tackle industry titans head-on. Katie is taken aback at first, her history of heart problems making her wary of high-stakes stress. She worked for Forrester for years, reaching to the position of head of public relations and remaining loyal to the company despite scandals, takeovers, and family feuds. Recently, however, she has felt pushed aside, decisions made without her participation, her role limited amid Brooke and Donna's fears for her health. Bill's offer felt like recognition, a chance to stand out and establish herself on her own terms. Encouraged by Bill and Will, Jane decides to take the plunge. But there's one obstacle: telling Brooke. The moment arrives in the elegant hallways of Forrester Creations, where the air is always brimming with invention and anxiety. Brooke is in the middle of a fitting or a meeting, her thoughts focused on the current collection or her long-standing love for Ridge Forrester, when Katie approaches. The younger sister is nervous but determined, her eyes full of excitement and defiance. She lays it all out: her remarriage to Bill, the expensive present, and her decision to depart Forrester to start something fresh. Brooke's reaction is instantaneous and visceral. Shock widens her eyes, and her immaculate calm fractures just slightly. She appears to be proud, providing a hug and words of congratulations, but doubt seeps in. How does Katie handle the pressure? Will this put sister against sister in the fashion world? And, worse, would it reopen old wounds with Bill, whose relationship with Brooke is fraught with passion and pain? As time passes, the news spreads like wildfire around the Forrester and Spencer groups. Ridge is enraged, seeing it as a direct threat to his family's history, particularly if Katie begins snatching talent or ideas. Steffi Forrester, who is always protective of the brand, disputes with Hope for unrelated matters, but the undercurrent of this new rivalry magnifies every argument. Donna tries to mediate, reminding her sisters of their strong tie as Logans, but cracks appear. Brooke confides in Donna about her concerns. Katie may be in over her head, the stress may reactivate her heart problems, and Bill's involvement appears manipulative, a method for him to pull strings in the fashion industry through his new wife. Katie, on the other hand, becomes preoccupied with planning. She creates theme boards, develops logos, and even comes up with a name for her house that is consistent with her identity, something bold, elegant, and distinctly Logan. Bill is her biggest supporter, protecting her vehemently against any criticism. Brooke softly expressed worries, urging Katie to reconsider for her health and family harmony, stings. Katie has spent too much time feeling fragile, protected rather than empowered. The tension rises during Christmas gatherings, where false grins conceal rising animosity. On Christmas Eve, with lights glittering and the Forrester estate bustling with tradition, the dam finally breaches. Brooke and Katie find themselves alone in a quiet place, possibly following a family toast or during a break in the festivities. Brooke, unable to keep back anymore, shares her concerns more explicitly. She admits she loves Katie, but this move feels risky. Forrester is their home, and the Logans have pushed hard to fit in. Starting a competing home might permanently split them, and with Bill's money backing it, it stinks of his continuous fixation with controlling those around him. Ridge is already furious, and the consequences might devastate everything they've created. Katie first listens intently, her face stiffening with each syllable. She's heard the protective big sister routine before, which can feel condescending. Brooke has always been the star, receiving lavish romances, the attention, and forgiveness for every misstep. Katie has worked hard for her position, survived transplants, betrayals, and losses, and she has always been expected to support quietly. With this opportunity, Brooke's lack of enthusiasm feels like sabotage. The wrath rises, fueled by years of pent-up frustration. Katie's voice rises abruptly, strong and unyielding. She moves closer, her eyes filled with pain and rage. The words spring from her, precise and devastating. I'm starting my own fashion house. But it's not just the announcement. It's how she delivers it, loaded with accusation, as if to scream, without you holding me back, without Forrester's sympathy, without your uncertainty. No. The surprising 6 words that cut most, blurted in a moment of raw emotion, are considerably more personal, cutting to the heart of their sisterly bond. During that heated debate, Katie fiercely cries, telling Brooke 6 surprising words. You never believed in me, anyway. The sentence hangs in the air like a thunderclap, silencing the room even if no one else does. Brooke recoils, horrified by the charge. Is this true? Does her concern come off as a lack of faith? Katie storms off, leaving Brooke to deal with the rift in their relationship. The aftermath has far-reaching consequences. Bill consoles Katie, promising to make her venture a huge success, possibly even increasing the rivalry by leaking information to the press. Ridge rallies the Forresters, warning about poaching and rivalry. Hope and Steffi, who are already feuding over designers like Thomas and Deke, find their disagreements exacerbated by this new threat. Donna desperately tries to bridge the divide by planning sisterly conversations that only exacerbate the agony. As the new year approaches, Katie delves deeper into her ideas. She recruits new talent, scouts venues, and fine-tunes her vision, a modern, inclusive collection that empowers women of all ages and backgrounds, possibly with a hint to her own journey of perseverance. Bill's resources make it possible. Cutting-edge studios, marketing via Spencer Publications, and celebrity endorsements in the works. But the emotional toll is high. Flashbacks plague her, times when Brooke swooped in to save her, or when Bill's gaze fell on her sister. The 6 words she yelled became a mantra of independence, propelling her will even as they haunted her memories. Brooke, on her part, struggles with shame and pride. She talks about it endlessly with Ridge, who encourages her to let Katie fail if that's what she wants, solidifying Brooke's resolve. In quieter moments, Brooke thinks on their common history, growing up impoverished alongside Storm and Donna, fighting for survival, and infiltrating the elite world of fashion together. Has she unwittingly held Katie back? The doubt gnaws at her, undermining her happiness in her own life with Ridge. Holiday parties come and go. Will throws a beach house party. Eric thinks on his legacy with passion, and Carter and new friends experience stolen kisses beneath mistletoe. The Logan divide, however, runs beneath the surface. Katie's declaration at a Spencer office presentation, complete with slideshows and mock-ups, makes Brooke and Ridge welcome but uneasy. When Katie discloses the name, perhaps Logan Legacy, or something equally provocative, Brooke's forced smile conceals her anxiety. Katie approaches designers, escalating the dispute. Whispers of offers to dissatisfied Forrester employees spread, infuriating Steffi. Hope, Brooke's daughter, attempts to remain impartial but feels the strain. Bill confronts Ridge directly, defending Katie's abilities and accusing the Forresters of undervaluing her for years. Katie's health becomes a major issue. The tension builds, late-night planning, supplier disputes, and the emotional burden of proving herself. Bill and Will are concerned when they see tiny signs of chest trouble. Doctors tell her to take it easy, but Katie refuses to let doubt triumph. In secret, the sisters almost reconcile. A phone call from Brooke offering genuine support, or a chance meeting in which Katie confesses her concern. However, pride and old patterns intercede, causing them to split up again. As January dawns, the fashion industry is buzzing with excitement over Katie's debut. Previews reveal lines that combine classic elegance with daring innovation, directly confronting Forrester classics like As Brooke's bedroom line. Media coverage compares Logan versus Logan, speculating on sibling animosity. Brooke observes from afar, a mixture of envy and admiration stirring. Has Katie discovered her full power? Will the pressure break her? The 6 surprising words reverberate in Brooke's head. You never believed in me anyway. They drive her to acknowledge her own involvement in Katie's insecurity. Bill stands solid, his feelings for Katie stronger than ever, but his past looms. Ridge plans countermeasures to safeguard his empire. The stage is set for spectacular battles, runway showdowns, stolen designs, and personal betrayals. Despite the turmoil, glimmers of hope remain. Donna's mediation efforts, Will's pride in his mother, and Eric's excellent guidance urging everyone to choose family over business. Perhaps the rivalry may strengthen or fracture connections irreparably. In this world of high stakes and strong emotions, one thing is certain. Katie's daring decision, prompted by those 6 stunning words uttered in anger, has changed everything. The Logan sisters' narrative is far from ended, full of twists, tears, victories, and the undying strength of love, romantic, family, and intensely competitive. The tension develops toward a possible reconciliation or escalation, with Katie's heart attack mentioned as a climax. Brooke reaches out one last time, confessing that her anxieties were motivated by love rather than uncertainty. Katie softens, but remains steadfast on her path. Fashion weeks approach, collections prepare, and alliances shift. New romances emerge, perhaps Daphne and Carter, or unexpected combinations. Old flames flicker, as Hope and Thomas navigate professionalism. Despite everything, the sisters stay at the center. Those 6 angry words serve as a spark for progress. Katie demonstrates her vision, Brooke learns to let go, and together, they redefine what it means to be Logans in a world that attempts to pit them against one another. The story unfolds on a daily basis, immersing viewers in the glamour, heartbreak, and unyielding passion of the bold and the beautiful. Rivalries rage, hearts repair and break, yet the story moves forward, ever developing and enthralling. Katie's voice pierced through the room like glass, sharp and raw, conveying years of frustration buried beneath false smiles and awkward silences. Brooke halted, her hand still resting on the back of the chair, her body tilted halfway toward the door, as if escape had been an option only seconds before. But there was no escape this moment, no avoiding the reality that had now been brought to light. You slept with my husband again. That's 6 words. That is all it took. They hung in the air, heavy and ruthless, each dropping with intentional power. Brooke's breath seized in her throat, and her eyes widened as if she had been physically attacked. She'd heard charges before, been through confrontations that ended in tears and apologies, but this was different. Katie was not crying. She was not trembling. She was enraged, and her hatred was contained, simmering, and far more dangerous than any frantic explosion. Brooke hesitantly turned to face her sister, remorse blazing across her features before she attempted, unsuccessfully, to hide it. Katie, I don't, Katie shouted, raising her hand. Her fingers shook despite her efforts to remain calm. Do not lie to me.
Do not explain.
Don't insult me by pretending this never happened. Brooke gulped hard, her mind racing. She had always believed she could talk her way out of anything, especially her tangled relationship with Bill. But the expression in Katie's eyes informed her that words might eventually fail her. "I never meant for it to happen," Brooke murmured gently, barely above a whisper. Katie's fury was fully fueled by the simple statement, "It just did." She let forth a harsh laugh, filled with incredulity and agony. "That's what you've always said. It just happened. Like you trip, fall, and end up in bed with the man I married." Brooke flinched. "Bill and I have a long history. You are aware of this." Katie responded, "Yes, I am aware of this. I understand better than anyone. And that is precisely why this hurts so much more. You didn't simply betray me. You confirmed every fear I ever had." The silence between them was thick and stifling. Memories of shared childhood, sisterly confidences, and easy laughing seemed to echo in the area. Everything felt brittle now, as if it may crumble at any moment. Brooke took a step forward, her eyes gleaming. "Kate, please. I love you. I would never want to hurt you." "But you did," Katie replied bluntly. "You always do." Brooke shook her head, tears streaming down her cheeks. Katie's jaw tightened. "That's not fair." "Fair? You want to talk about fairness? I supported you every time your life fell apart. Every affair, every controversy, every time you claimed you'd learnt your lesson. I defended you when others judged you. And this is how you repay me." Brooke opened her mouth, but no words emerged. For once, she had no defense. "I trusted you," Katie said, her voice breaking slightly before she pulled it back together. "I trusted you with my husband. I trusted you in my house. I trusted you with my heart." Brooke wiped her cheeks. "I've never stopped liking Bill. And I realize it makes me look terrible, but it's the truth." Katie looked at her, startled. "Is that it? That is your excuse?" "Love." "It is not an excuse," Brooke insisted. "It's a weakness." "And I'm just collateral damage," Katie said bitterly. Another, more intense quiet fell. Brooke turned aside, humiliation written in every feature of her face. She had always believed that honesty, no matter how difficult, was preferable to lying. But now she questioned whether the truth had finally cost her everything. "What are you planning to do?" Brooke inquired gently. Katie's eyes tightened. "I am done protecting you. I'm finished cleaning up your mess." Brooke's chest constricted. "You don't mean that." "I do," Katie insisted. "For the first time in my life, I mean it." She turned away and paced the room, as if attempting to expel the rush of emotion rushing through her. When she spoke again, her voice was more steady and determined. "You and Bill deserve each other," she explained. "Two people who can't stop hurting everyone around them." "That's not true," she replied. "Bill loves you." "Maybe," Katie said, "but not enough to maintain faith. And that is on both of you." Brooke automatically reached out, but then stopped. She knew well then to touch Katie and assume closeness where none existed. "I don't know how we come back from this," Brooke stated. Katie let out a slow breath. "I don't think we do." Those comments hit harder than the charge itself. Brooke's eyes welled up with tears as she realized what she'd lost. It wasn't simply another brawl. This was the breaking point. "I'm your sister," Brooke replied, desperation creeping into her voice. "That has to count for something." "It used to," Katie replied. "But family doesn't get a free pass to destroy your life." Brooke felt something inside her fracture. She had always felt that no matter what, blood would unite them. But now she saw the truth in Katie's eyes. Love has limits, and Brooke had exceeded them. Katie grabbed her purse, her motions precise and determined. "I want you to stay away from my son," she told me. "And from my husband." Brooke's head sprang up. "You can't keep Will from me." "I can," Katie said. "And I will if necessary. He doesn't need to see this type of betrayal commonplace." "That's not fair to him," Brooke begged. "Neither was what you did," Katie remarked as she headed for the door. She halted, her hand on the handle, and her shoulders sagged briefly. The rage faded into tiredness, followed by a terrible grief that wounded even deeper. I loved you, Brooke, she stated softly. I really did. She then exited, the door closing behind her with a finality that rang around the room. Brooke stood alone, the silence almost overwhelming. She collapsed into the nearest chair, her legs going out beneath her. Tears flowed freely as the weight of her actions pressed down on her. She'd lost Katie's trust, but also her affection. Moments after, Bill entered the room, his countenance dubious as he assessed Brooke's condition. What happened? He asked. Brooke glanced up at him, rage rising from her sadness. What do you think happened? He sighed and ran his hand through his hair. She knows. Yes, Brooke snapped. She knows everything. Bill's jaw tightened. Brooke laughed bitterly. I'll fix this. You cannot solve this, Bill. This is not a business deal. Bill scowled. This is my sister. We did not plan for this. That doesn't matter, Brooke said. Intentions do not erase consequences. He took a step closer. I love you. Brooke gazed at him intently, and for the first time, she wondered if love was enough. That's what scares me, she added gently. Bill paused. Do you mean you regret it? Brooke closed her eyes. I regret losing Katie. That response spoke all. Outside, Katie sat in her car, clutching the steering wheel as tears fell. She'd held herself together as long as she could, but suddenly the anguish was crushing and persistent. She felt betrayed, embarrassed, and hopelessly alone. But beneath the pain, something else stirred. Determination. She wiped her cheeks and squared her shoulders. She had spent too much time being the understanding and forgiving one. That period was over. Inside the house, Brooke sat still, knowing that 6 devastating words had changed everything. There would be fallout, family divides, unpleasant choices, and unavoidable consequences. And as both ladies dealt with the aftermath in their separate ways, one thing was certain. Nothing would ever be the same again.